Hey there, everybody. I'm Alex Van Aken from Game Informer. Today, I'm joined by Alex Stadnick, fellow video editor. Hello. And then editor-in-chief, Andrew Reiner. What's up, Reiner?
Alex and Alex. How's it going?
Going good. Because we're going to be talking about... Exactly. It's going good because we're going to be talking about why It Takes Two is one of 2021's best games. Reiner, you've been playing this. You reviewed it. You gave it a 9.25 over on gameinformer.com. Why is this game... Can you first of all, I feel like a lot of people might not know what It Takes Two is. Of course, it's, the follow-up from Joseph Fares and team, but you want to give everybody a rundown?
It is a co-op only game that you can play either couch co-op or online. No matter what approach you take, you're always going to see the screen split in two. Even if you're in different households, you're always going to see what your partner's doing. And it's an action game, and it's very important that you see your other partner both thematically and in gameplay wise. The theme element of It Takes Two is that two parents are divorcing, and that's how the game begins. And you see the daughter be devastated by this, run upstairs to these dolls that she made of her parents that she uses for make-believe to see them in a better way, right? Like how she wants them to be. Tears fall onto the dolls. She also has a book about love that she has that she wanted to use to try to help her parents mend their relationship. So she knew this was going on. But the seeing both of them together, they go into this, their souls go into these toys, the parents' souls, and they're, like Toy Story, like these little characters running around a big and, normal sized environment. And the book comes to life as well as an animated character, and Dr. Hakim, and his goal is to mend their relationship through teamwork. So that's where the dual screen presence comes into play, because all of the challenges in It Takes Two are geared with co-op in mind. Yes, you have individual platforming challenges that you'll go on for very short sections, but most of it you have to work together, communicate, and have patience with each other. And that is the basis and the brilliance of It Takes Two.
And I always feel like that's just kind of like the marketing, the checkbox when they say you have to rely on teamwork. It's really true in this game. You have to. If you're not working together in certain sections, you literally just can't get past it.
So you both have Cody and May, the names of the parents, both have the same moveset in terms of traversal, running, jumping, double jumping, dashing. They can both do that. But in any given world, and even just sections of a world, they gain unique abilities or items that make them control in a distinct way that always interacts with the environment in distinct ways. And that's where you'll have things like, let's say one character can jump higher. Well, maybe the other one has to pull a ledge down at a perfect time for them to be able to jump up on that. So that's where you have that communication and cooperative element of like 3, 2, 1, go now. You do that co-op move over and over throughout the game. Yeah. And what really is brilliant about it is how often they shake up that formula. You're not doing those same jumps over and over again because those items are changing all throughout the game.
Yeah, and they weave it together in a really nice way that's like reminiscent of like classic Nintendo games. Like, oh, I remember this. They taught me this earlier. Okay, now we're doing this. But Alex, how did you feel about the game overall?
I think what's shocking to me about it so far is how uncumbersome that split screen feel is, and how smooth the co-op is. Like, I'm not going to belabor Reiner's point, but all that meshing together in this, like you said, like dark Toy Story world that's not afraid to pull some real punches, but also have this joyous, beautiful spirit to it has been the surprise of my year so far in games. And I don't think that's hyperbolic. I had helped with the NGTs and stuff like that, but this is really this is a special thing when you actually get your hands on it. So Reiner, I'm curious, as the man who's reviewing it, like, you have a couple of points you really want to point out to our audience, correct?
One of the things I'll say is expect the unexpected from the cooperative play. You never know what they're going to throw at you next. You're going to go into an area that looks like many video game environments you've been in before. You're going to get tools that you've used in other games ad nauseum, but the way they combine them and the way they come together in these environments makes for something really distinct, and it has just its own feel. I'm just blown away by how much fun and how creative they are in many of their challenges in this game. Not just many, most of them. I think they go through dozens of different gameplay styles. I kid you not. You're rail sliding, all that stuff. You're flying on the back of birds. I don't want to spoil too much, but it all works, and it works pretty well. The core mechanics of platforming are a little off. They're not as reliable as I want them to be. It's not a Mario, as smooth or dynamic as Mario, but they do the right things to have balance, right? If you miss a jump, your character might just warp a couple inches to the ledge, right? Like they know that their mechanics aren't pristine or the perfect, or you go under a rail, you hit the RB and you'll warp up on top of it. It's a little jarring to see that happen, but I think the gameplay gets the job done, and it kind of again harks back to that point of just being something that you just don't know what to expect from it.
Yeah, and you kind of mentioned like they are pulling all of these disparate elements, but somehow it feels like, I don't know. I've done these things before, but for instance, early on, one character gets a hammer and one character gets a set of nails, and it kind of evolves the platforming experience where I'm holding up different pieces of a platform to help Alex jump onto it. And if I want to mess with him, I could rip it out and then he falls to his death.
Which he would never do. Never do anything like that. Yeah.
Reiner, what's your next point that you want to kind of let people know?
I would say, the ordinary worlds that you're exploring, whether you're climbing a tree or you're in the attic of a house or, out in a garden, are turned into works of art. Just stunning, beautiful areas. Sometimes it just looks really nicely detailed, like just an ordinary bench or something like that. But there'll be times you'll just go into a new gameplay sequence where they're changing things up, and it really is like you're in an art gallery, or, there's something that you guys got to see with a catfish that you just, all of a sudden communication stops because both players are just like in awe of what they're looking at.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with that. We've seen a lot of little people in big worlds, and this one, I think, really kind of hits a different tone in terms of what they do with that environment and making it really dynamic.
Awesome. Yeah. Alex, I feel like that catfish scene, and we won't go into it, but that is where it's solidified for me. This might be this is a game of the year contender now for me. It was eloquent. It's this weird mashup. It's Toy Story. It's dark, but it has real human moments. It's really cool.
There was especially on the contrast of the scene that we just come from. There was such a not subtlety, but there was a serenity to this moment, and it was just so unexpected. And I think Joseph Fares gets he's the F the Oscars guy, right? But this him and his team are really showing that in this game that there is this sensitive side and this awe for beauty in this, which I just wasn't expecting.
So what's your next point, Reiner?
The story deals with heavy themes, and it hits hard with those themes. It does not pull punches. It is very much a game about sadness and remorse and kind of loss. Hoping things can get better is what the whole thrust of gameplay is. What this book is trying to do is unite these two lost lovers, and maybe that's not what they want. Yes, they got to work together in these environments, but are their hearts going to be able to come together again? And the game does a nice job of piecing that arc together and showing you the daughter's perspective, Rose's perspective, a lot of times what she's going through in the real world as they are kind of lost in this kind of toyland.
Which I think was one of the things that I was curious to see if they could pull off, especially on the backdrop of something a little bit more whimsical and magical, right? So that's awesome to hear as the story goes on that they capitalize on that.
Awesome. Do you have a last point, or which one are we on now?
Yeah, we could do one more. I'll do the last one here. All of it's going to feel really familiar, for people that have played a lot of games, but it has a life of its own. It really does feel like a new type of platforming experience, just with how they handle that co-op action and making sure you're always in lockstep with your friend or significant other or whoever you're playing with online. They really form that bond between the players. That's something you always try to see with co-op. But a lot of times when you're using the same move sets and all that, it's anyone can take down a boss, just with their ammo or whatever, what weapon they're using. But this one, you get distinct ownership and you have to rely on the other person. And I just think it's brilliant how they weave that together.
Yeah. And I was kind of worried going into this game. So I was one of the people that enjoyed A Way Out, the previous game from Hazelight Studios. But this game, I was worried the tone was going to kind of throw me off, or I was based on the trailers. It's like, okay, this is like too campy for me, but I think it is campy in a lot of ways, but they're aware of it and they kind of play into it at the right moments, and kind of when it needs to be more sensitive, they kind of dive into that. So I'm really enjoying the game. When is it out, Reiner?
That is out March 26th, this Friday, on everything. I mean, well, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, you name it. Yeah, it's well worth checking out. One of the best games of the year. I gave it 9.25 out of 10. I can't wait to hear what people think of this one.
Awesome. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us for this video. Of course, if you enjoyed it, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and leave a comment letting us know what you think about It Takes Two. And that's going to be it for us. We'll see you over at gameinformer.com. Everybody, have a great day.